Excerpt Book 2 of the Sara Chronicles Evolution of Us Chapter 4. Sara's hands slapped against the hardwood floor and she felt the sting of several small splinters as they found their way into her skin, but she barely took a second to right herself and lunge for the door. Rihanna, Oli, and Thomas were right on her heels as she pulled open the heavy front door and made her way out into the street. The others had also received the same distress call she had, and they were rushing to get to James and give him aid as quickly as possible. Rihanna and Oli were looking up toward the sky and raising their arms in summons. It was but a few moments before the large lure moths that had provided transport in their last battle with the Gara appeared and allowed the company to sit upon their backs. Their lovely green and pink wings fluttered softly, creating a slight breeze in the warm evening, and Sara gripped the moth's fuzzy back gently to keep her seat. Sara was surprised to feel an additional weight behind her and turned to find Alice had taken up the rest of the moth's back with her small frame. She started to urge Alice to go back and wait with the townspeople when the moth took to the air, and she had to turn and concentrate on keeping her balance on the creature's back. As they glided through the air, Sara let her mind reach out toward James, trying to get an idea where he might be. James! Her mind cried. She heard only the steady sound of his flute in the night air and then the sound of tinkling, like ice cubes almost, and something heavy scraping against a solid surface. Ice. She thought for a moment. She projected her thoughts toward Oli. Do you think they could still be by the frozen lakes? She received an instant reply. It is possible that something delayed them there, but why would James not have told me if something was wrong? Could we please go there as quickly as possible? Sara sent her thoughts back to him. She felt the moths turn their soft, fluffy bodies slightly and they were streaming through the cool night air toward James and his party. Though it was not long before the frozen lakes were visible, to Sara, it seemed as if the flight took an eternity. She leaned forward as far as she could on her lure and peered past its large wings to catch a glimpse of what was going on below. The lakes were separated by a thin strip of land, with each extending out from this about 200 feet in either direction. They could see the entire area from their elevated positions. The air around the lakes rose in frosty puffs above them, while the tinkling of the icicles on the trees sounded like bells in the stillness of the night. A soft blanket of snow covered the small area of land between the water, and as they neared this spot, Sara was sure she could see something dark spread out on the white ground below. All along the faint, clear sound of James's beautiful music floated up to her. The lunas dove sharply down to the snow-covered spot in the middle. As her view became clearer, Sara could now see at least 20 large dark wolves standing in a semicircle around a small group of people. The people were standing in a protective manner around a prone form. The wolves did not appear to be moving, merely watching. Then Sara saw one of the wolves shake his head and attempt to advance forward. It took a couple of steps, then retreated quickly with a yelp as it collided with something she could not see.